secondary pre-screen before we change it to actual.
Oh yeah, can you do that?
Cue, yeah, in OBS.
That'd be cool.
You
So it
pause
shows
it,
something cool instead of just me trying to get
sit
in.
there, staring off. And Facebook, I click live. A little faster. Okay. Facebook's up. And then Insta. Oh, no, Insta's down. Can't do Insta. Spinning wheel of death.
Gosh dang it.
But we got YouTube and Facebook and the recording, so we're good there. So yeah, when you end the stream, just click the mute, and then we'll force things out. Okay, so we're good though.
Okay. All right, guys, welcome back to the Jared Briggs Show. This is Friday. This is, you guys all know that. It's Friday, right? But this is day 4 of doing the lives. I'm really trying to get a time nailed down. The goal's around lunchtime. Today's been super busy with stuff, so we're doing it later in the afternoon, which is okay because we've wanted to try different times. Morning times, midday times, afternoon times, and see what we get the better connection on. But if you guys have any questions or anything, let's do it. Ask me some questions. So today's topic, how well do you know your money? We're going to talk about this all the time because it's super important. I love watching how much we in America love to focus on the politics, focus on inflation, focus on banking, focus on just all of the things going on financially in the United States of America. And yet, when have we really taken the time to learn our money? When have we taken the time to really connect? You guys, I want to get real with you here. I feel a really strong desire and pull to share things to help people with money, with finances, with goals, with dreams, mindset, all of that. I've been doing the insurance industry for since 2017. I got licensed March of 2017. Been helping people with health insurance, Medicare, life insurance, protecting retirement income, doing some investments. Excuse me. And over that time, I've had thousands and thousands of conversations with people about insurance, about income, about retirement planning, about just everything going on financially. And one thing that frustrates me is I had the desire and the goal and the dream and the passion to learn about money, to create a better financial situation and future for myself, to provide for my wife and my kids in the best way possible. And when I sit here and have conversations with people over and over and over and over, like I said, thousands, and people are stuck financially, living paycheck to paycheck, frustrated about money. All of those situations, I'm like, man, that's what I want to do is I want to have those type of conversations. I want to help people in that way understand money and be better off financially. So that's what I want to do. Here we go. There we go. Trying to get all this stuff live. So that's what all this is about. So today's topic is, how well do you know your money? How well are you really defined in your finances? Do you understand what is going on? I've talked about in the last few days, talking about the 3 steps to making more money. And it's not all about making more money. Yeah, I share some information in there on how to make more money, but I'm here to tell you more money is not going to solve your problem. More money is not going to solve your problem, because if you don't know what to do with the money, if you don't know how to manage the money, if you don't know how to really create a process and a system with the money, if you're making $5,000 a month right now or $2,000 a month, it doesn't matter. Whatever you're making, and you increase that by $1,000, are you really going to save more? Are you going to really invest more? Are you going to pay off debt or your credit cards or whatever it is that you're struggling with financially. Because if you're not doing it now, why do you think you can do it with more money? You see, more money will not solve your problems. Creating a financial system and understanding what money is and how money works. Like I say, step 1, know your money. Step 2, create a wealth creation plan. And then step 3, increase your income. Those steps is a system and a process to actually help you increase your income and be smarter with money. I want you to think about it. If you gave a child food and they threw it all on the floor and then asked for more food, are you going to give them more food? Coming from the perspective of a parent? Probably not. I know I won't. I got a little 1-year-old little dude right now, and we'll give him food. He throws it all on the floor and kind of looks for more or whatever. And I'm like, you're just playing now. My wife and I take it away from you. Money's the same way. If you are not using what it is that you have now, like more food is not going to solve the problem. It's just going to create more of a mess to clean up. Like, honestly, that's what people do. They start making 1,000 more or get a raise. They get a cost of living raise, and then they go buy something else. And it's like, do you realize that just added up to like a couple $100 for the whole year? Like, you're not making that much money, but they go get another payment or they go buy some stuff. And I'm not saying buying things is a bad thing, because there's so many really cool things out there. All of this gear that I have right here, this is all tools and a resource, and somebody had the dream to create a camera. Somebody had the dream to create a microphone. Somebody had the dream to create an iPad. Somebody had the dream to sell water in a water bottle. Like, think about all the cool vehicles and houses and vacations. It's all good stuff. Everybody gets so hung up on the idea that materialism is the root of all evil, or that you're being materialistic. That's the stupidest freaking thing ever. Like, why would God give man and woman knowledge, ability, and dreams to create the things that they create, and for us to not buy them and enjoy them? We just need to be smart about it. I think out of all the sports cars, you guys, I like Ferrari. I just think Ferraris are cool. Well, I mean, if you want a brand new Ferrari, the high-end ones, I mean, you can spend $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000. That's crazy, right? But guess what? Somebody had the dream to create that style of a vehicle that pays that much attention to detail, that is crafted in the way that it is crafted, the engine, the interior, all of that. And I've had the opportunity to sit in Ferraris and actually drive a Ferrari. Yes, it's really cool. Like, it is a masterpiece. It isn't just a car. It is a piece of art. How cool is that? That somebody had that vision, that dream, that goal, that desire. You see, that's not materialism. That's enjoying the creations of someone else. Somebody taking their talent, skills, and abilities and be able to create those things. It's not materialism. It's okay to want. It is okay to dream. It is okay to dream big. It is okay to want things that are of this world, right? Everybody says, oh, you're just caught up in the world. No, I'm not. If I'm right with God, if I am being a good person, if I'm taking care of my family, if I'm providing financially, if I'm doing all of those things that we're asked to do, what is wrong with us enjoying the good things of this world? There's nothing wrong with it at all. 100%. Okay? But you need to first create discipline. You first need to get right with money. You first need to understand what money is and how money works, and create a process and a system. Okay? Know your money. Create a wealth creation plan. Create a plan of how you're going to buy those things or do those things or pay for those things and live the life it is that you want to live. And by doing those things, by creating those things, by being disciplined, you deserve the opportunity to enjoy the good things that this world creates, and that this day and age. I mean, look at the technology, look at the advancements, look at the cool resorts and vacations and airplanes and vehicles, and there's so many cool things, and I want to enjoy them, and there's nothing wrong with those things. Okay? But how well do you know your money? Are you going and buying things and putting yourself in a tougher, worse financial position? Or are you progressing forward? Are you living abundantly? Are you creating a process and a system that helps you create financial success, goals, dreams, and desires? I'm going to go over the 3 steps really quick. I've done it every day in the last couple of days. I want to just go over those things really quick. So know your money. How much money are you making? What is your income? If you're married, what is your spouse's income? How much, what is it that you are collecting in finances every single day? Or every day, every week, every month, every year, however you track those things. Know your money. Know exactly what your income is. When you ask somebody, how much do you make? And they're like around $4,000 a month. Well, $3,700 and $4,100 is a pretty big difference at the end of the year. One is less than the other. One is more than the other. So it's important to know your income. Step number 2 is creating a wealth creation plan. Know your income, know your expenses, and know where your money is going. Have you guys ever heard of the concept, pay yourself first? That concept changed so many things financially, because when you pay yourself first, you put yourself in a position of power. You put yourself in a position of, I'm telling my money where to go. You see, the whole concept of, we'll see how much money is at the end of the month and then we'll save. You're going to chase that for the rest of your life, because stuff will always come up. It'll always come up. Save for a rainy day. Why would you save for a rainy day? Because guess what? A rainy day is always going to freaking happen. Now, there's things that happen outside of our control, but don't you think we attract those things by planning for those things? I put money towards investing. Okay, I'm like, this money's for investing. If something freaking happens and a medical bill or an emergency or the washer and dryer go out or a tire or something, all right, cool. I got to pull some money out of the investing account. All right, dang it. But I ain't going to save money for a rainy day, because I don't want to attract a rainy day into my life. I don't want to attract an emergency into my life. You guys want to know something interesting? The fall of 2024, my diesel truck, I knew it needed tires. Like, they were getting bald, and I knew they needed tires. But I kept thinking from a scarcity mindset. I kept thinking, oh man, maybe I could get another 1,000 miles out of these things. It's a terrible idea. But I did it. And every time I would drive the truck, I'd think, I should go put new tires on this. But, you can spend $1,500 to $3,000 on a set of tires for a diesel truck really quick. But I kept putting it off. And I have created this thing where anytime something happens, instead of getting frustrated or mad, I laugh at it and I ask, what can I learn from this? Or what do I need to learn from this? Why did this happen? And so I had helped my in-laws haul some cattle, and I still had the horse trailer hooked up to my truck. And it was one day after work, my father-in-law calls me and he said, hey, I need that horse trailer. I'll come get it. And I'm like, it's already hooked up to the truck. I'm about home. And my wife was out at their house. I'm like, I'll just bring it to you. He's like, okay. I hop in the truck. I don't even make it a mile. Like I probably wasn't even a half mile down the road. And also my truck's pulling really hard to the right. And I was like, crap. I already knew it was wrong. I pull off the side of the road. I get out. The front right tire was completely flat. Like it had blown, popped, ran something over something. I mean, it just was a low quality tire. And so I called my wife and I was like, hey, tell your parents I'm going to be a little bit. She's like, you okay? I was like, yeah, tire's flat. In the moment, I thought, okay, what can I learn from this? It all comes back to money, right? Trying to save a freaking dollar. But guess what I didn't do? I didn't save $1 because I had to buy new tires anyway. So I'm sitting there in the moment and I'm like, okay, what can I learn from this? Oh, how about when you know something needs done, stop procrastinating it? That was literally the thought that come into my head. And if I stop procrastinating, will I save money and will I save time? Because time is the most valuable asset that we have. And in this moment, I thought, okay, I got to buy 4 new tires anyway. So I didn't save any money. And now I'm here on the side of the road trying to change it in an inconvenient place where if I would have listened to the impression or the prompting or the intuition, whatever you want to call it, if I had listened to it at the beginning, I would have taken it to the tire shop and they would have changed it. I wouldn't have had to do it. But guess what? I had to change the tire, take it to the shop, them change the tire, they put the tire back on, the spare tire, all that, right? I didn't save any money. You guys, it cost me money because now I'm spending time, which is the most valuable asset that we have. Now I'm spending time doing something that I know I already needed to do. So I listened to that. In 2025, my wife and I took a family little trip vacation to Yellowstone and Cody, Wyoming. I had the impression and the thought, you know what? Our camper, I wonder if the bearings have ever been checked. And I said, okay, I am not denying this. So I hooked onto it. I called Les Schwab. Les Schwab, I really enjoy Les Schwab. There's a great store right here close to me. They've taken care of me very well every single time. Thank you, Les Schwab. I called them. I said, hey, would you guys do this? They're like, yeah, bring it in. If the bearings need repacked, we'll do it. If they don't, no charge. I'm like, you guys are freaking awesome. Took it in. Bearings were completely fine. But they're like, hey, we checked the tires. Tires are getting a little weather rot. It's a 2016 camper, original tires that were on it. They're like, they're getting weather rotted. You'll probably be fine, but we just want to let you know they're starting to crack and stuff. Well, we were going to drive all the way up to Yellowstone and Cody, Wyoming, which is 5, 6, 7 hours. And sorry, guys. And I had the thought, I'm like, okay, I could chance it and try to save $700, or I can get them fixed. I learned my lesson, you guys. I bought new tires. I put all new tires on the camper. They checked the bearings. Everything was completely fine. I don't know what it would have happened. I have no clue. No clue what would have happened. But I decided to start listening to those promptings and those impressions and that intuition to start going with your gut. You see, creating a wealth creation plan, I can't even freaking remember why I went off on this tangent, but those are some massive lessons. Planning, preparing, time, all of that. So creating a wealth creation plan, knowing your money, knowing your expenses, knowing where your money is going and what it is doing. Oh, planning for emergencies and all those things. You guys, I don't plan for those things. I put my money in places to invest, to grow, to expand, to make me more money. And if I got to pull from those accounts, I got to pull from those accounts. Okay, but maybe they earned interest, they grew, they multiplied. I'm a big time believer. I want to invest in places I can touch the money now. I don't want to wait till I'm 59 and a half or whatever those rulings are on a lot of those other things. I don't want to buy a brand new truck and stick it in the garage and I can't touch it until somebody says I can touch it. I don't like doing that with my money either. Okay. So I invest in things and in places that if something comes up, the washer and dryer go out, which freaking happened in 2024, had to buy a whole new set. All right, great. We've got the ability to take care of those things, but we are investing, we are growing, we are expanding. So you can either focus on the bad, you can focus on the what ifs, you can focus on all of these other things, or you can create a wealth creation plan and be like, all right, we are expanding, we are growing, we are living in abundance, we are making good things happen. And as those good things happen, life happens. Life freaking happens. Tire, all of those different things that I just talked about. So step 1, know your money. Step 2, create a wealth creation plan. Step 3 is now you have a process and a system for your money. You don't have to spend a lot of time, effort, energy, or anything focusing on money, focusing on all those other things because you have a system. You can literally spend 5% of your energy now on your financial plan. You get paid, you already know the management system. It might take you a couple of months, ladies and gentlemen. It took me a couple of months. It took me a while to get a system really down. But now you have a system. You get paid, you know what to do with the money. You are in charge with the money. You pay yourself first. You take care of the things that you need to. You should pay yourself first before you pay everything else. You should pay yourself first before you pay everything else. Why are we in a society today where we work our freaking butts off? I see videos all the time on social media. Somebody's like, what are we doing? You know, like young people, like guys my age that have a wife and kids, and they're like, what am I doing? I literally go to work, go home, go to bed, go to work, go home, go to bed, I see my kids. I seen a video the other day. The guy's like, I see my kids 2 days a week, 2 hours a day. And my wife maybe 3 hours. And then we all go to bed and I wake up and I leave for work before that. Like, I get it. So we are all sitting here working our butts off, building America, keeping our economy going. And we are paying everybody else first. You're paying the banks, you're paying the credit card companies, you're paying the mortgage companies, you're paying the insurance companies, you're paying all your groceries, you're giving all your money to Amazon and Walmart and all these other places, which I get it. They're selling products and services. We all do it. But you don't pay yourself anything? That financial tool right there, the process of paying yourself first, I always get the hiccups when I'm doing this. The process of paying yourself first before you pay everybody else, that system alone will make you a wealthy person. Because you're going to pay yourself first, and then you put that money to work so it works for you. That system alone will make you a wealthy person. Okay, so create a wealth creation plan. Now you have this plan. You know what you need to do with your money. Now take all your effort, time, energy, everything, and learn how to increase income. Because now instead of worrying about living paycheck to paycheck or how to pay these bills or how to do this or how to do that, now instead of worrying about those things, now you can take that energy and effort, and instead of like, oh, how do we save? How do we save? How do we save? People spend hours. They spend their whole freaking life looking through their budget. I hate the word budget. Budget's limiting. They literally look through these things on how they can cut things. Like, oh man, maybe if I cut my TV, and then I'm going to call my insurance guy again. Maybe I could drop my deductible on my car insurance. Like, cool, you saved $40 a month. And then all of a sudden, insurance went up the next year. Now you're back in the same spot. So you can either take your energy and figure out how to cut expenses, or you can take all of your effort, energy, and learn how to increase income, how to save, how to invest, how to multiply, how to put the money that you have now to work for you. This is a simple system. Okay? We're going to do something else. I really enjoyed going through Reddit, talking on Reddit, all those. I'm going to put a comment right here. If you guys are watching on YouTube, I'm just going to comment real quick. If you have questions, ask them. Love to help you guys. All right. We're going to pull up Reddit because that's been pretty fun, going through Reddit questions. Growth-6135 in the saving money page. I just got my savings account to $20,000. 10 years ago, I had over $15,000 in debt. It's not much, but hitting 20K in my savings feels amazing. In 2017, my high school boyfriend leaked my nudes. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I contacted a lawyer, and they wouldn't offer anything unless I could put down $10,000 retainer. This opened my eyes to how much I needed to get finances in order. This escalated quickly, ladies and gentlemen. I had just paid off credit cards and still had a car loan. In 2018, I paid off my car, but went back to school. 2022, I paid off my student loans. I've changed careers. I've tolerated a beat-up car for too long. I only eat out once a week, which isn't much in a city. I eat ramen and frozen burritos at the office while everyone else gets teriyaki. Thanks to a bonus from work, I hit 20K today. No question, no nothing. That was interesting. Good for you. What's the point of living life if you aren't enjoying it? That's what I would say. Live life to the fullest. If your car sucks, there's nothing wrong with replacing it, ladies and gentlemen. That doesn't mean you have to go out and buy a brand new one. If it's not breaking down and you love it, awesome. I can't stand mechanic bills. I hate mechanic bills with a freaking passion. I would rather have a $300 car payment than a $300 mechanic bill every single month. That's just where I've lived. I've lived the life of broke down cars. When my wife and I were first married, I was putting $300 to $500 a month into a car, and it freaking sucked. I don't care if it's paid off. Now I've got paid off vehicles, but they don't break down. I love them. So what's the point of life if you're not enjoying it? If you want to eat out a little bit more, do it. If you want to have a little bit better lunches, do it. Why don't we change the mindset from living in scarcity? Let's stop living in scarcity and let's become the best versions of ourselves. Unless you don't want to. I'm just speaking from personal experience. I want to know how to enjoy food, scarcity and abundance. You know, if you enjoy eating ramen and frozen burritos at the office, freaking have at it. But if you really, really, really want teriyaki, Why don't you figure out how to create a life and an income and all of that to do those things? You guys, there's no lack of money. There is zero lack of money. I want you to think about something really quick. I want you to think about where you are right now. Whether you're listening to this live, whether you're listening to this later, I don't care. Think about where you are right now. I want you to think about the concrete, the buildings, the power, the sewer, the water. Like we just listed millions, if not billions of dollars in construction, pay, tools, resources, equipment, all of those things. We just listed off millions and millions and millions, if not billions of dollars just where you're sitting. I mean, right now, I live in a really small area and not a way high income area, and there's millions of dollars surrounding me. You guys, there is millions and billions of dollars in transactions at this very moment, floating through the freaking air because of all these apps that we have now. You can transfer the money in someone in seconds. There is no lack of money. There is zero lack of money. There is an unlimited amount of opportunity. And that's why the rich keep getting richer, is they figured out how to go capitalize on all those things. All right, that was a cool one. Congratulations, though. $20,000. That is a powerful position. You're in a great, powerful position. Now put that money to work and turn it into more. Ooh, bankruptcy or settlements? Let's click on this one. Fly, so FLYANON 777 on Reddit. What's up? Well, I've done it now. Missed 4 months of credit card payments, and I'm officially at rock bottom. I didn't have the cash, and then I just started self-sabotaging because I'm a psychopath, apparently. My mom's been in hospice, and I just found out my boyfriend of 8 years, who's the father of my 2 kids, has been cheating literally. Man, we've had some interesting ones today. The whole time, plus has a hidden addiction. A hidden sex addiction. I've been cashless because I wasn't working much due to staying home with the kids because we can't afford daycare, caring for my dying mom, and just anxious because I knew he was cheating when I was gone. I still take complete blame for me being irresponsible and letting my grief, pain, etc. let me make stupid decisions. So, with lots of O's, now that I have to leave this house and basically start over, should I just file bankruptcy? I don't know how I'm going to be able to get an apartment, but I'll figure something out. But given that I have about $40K in credit card debt on 6 cards, all in default, what do I do? USB says it's going to be charged off. What the heck is USB? End of the month, so what's that mean? Is that them essentially selling to loan buyers? Oh, so probably their credit card is getting paid off. You guys, I've never been in bankruptcy. I've never dealt with bankruptcy. I've never any of those things. I believe there's always a way. I mean, if bankruptcy is what you want to do, go for it. But I believe there's always a way. Like we are infinitely intelligent human beings. I want you to think about it. Look at what we have. If you think about our grandparents or our parents, look at the technology they had. Look at the resources they had. Look at the things that they dealt with. Look in the 1800s, early 1900s. Like, look how much America has progressed. The infrastructure, the careers, everything that is available. Look at how much everything has progressed and expanded. We are infinitely intelligent human beings. I believe there is always a way. And we got to stop looking at things like one-dimensional. We got to stop looking at things in limitation. I love the saying, you will never solve the problem in the same mindset that you created the problem. We got to think about things differently. Like, start thinking about things from a perspective of, like, what if? What if I did this? What if I did this? Like, complete off-the-wall things you would never think of before, and let the mind start expanding and growing and open ourselves up to opportunities that we haven't seen before. You see, that's why I'm such a believer in personal development. I love personal development books. I love Think and Grow Rich, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. Holy crap, there's so many good books out there. The Power of the Subconscious Mind is an incredible book. I can't remember the name of the guy that wrote that book. Anyway, if you look these things up, like personal development, the reason why I love it so much is because it gets us to think differently or see outside of the box. I literally am always looking for opportunities to go meet new people or have conversations or listen to something different. You know, if someone recommends a book or a podcast, I'm like, I'm going to listen to it or read it, because what if there's a thought in there, and that one thought is the thing that makes me change everything. And I'm like, I've been stuck. And what if all of a sudden it's like, boom, that's exactly what I needed. And so I'm a big believer in that. For this bankruptcy or settlement options, I believe there's a way, but you're not living to your potential. You're not any of those things. The next thing is like, I feel for you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you've had that experience. I'm sorry about your mom. I deal with people, help them with health insurance and Medicare, and hospice is a very sad thing. So I apologize on that. And, I'm terribly sorry. Your husband's thing or boyfriend's thing, I'm sorry about that. You know, life's hard. It throws curveballs all the time. But I'm here to say also, you're a strong individual, strong person, a strong individual. You were put here for a reason on this earth, and you're capable of those things. So you need to make the right decision for you. All right, let's look at some other stuff. HELOC for student loans. Let's look at that. Home equity line of credit. If none of you understand what a HELOC is, and I'm not an expert on a HELOC, but a HELOC is a home equity line of credit. So let's say you had a house that's worth $500,000 and you have a $300,000 mortgage, so you've paid down $200,000, or it's grown in equity $200,000. You can do what's called a HELOC, home equity line of credit. It's a completely separate loan leveraged against your house, has its own interest rate, has its own payment, has everything, and those things are called HELOCs, home equity line of credit. So you can pull the equity out of your house and go do other things with. So HELOC for student loans. This person is asking this. Given the housing prices in recent years, our home now has a large amount of equity. There you go. When the cost of things go up, and let's say you bought your house for $300,000, but now it's worth $500,000, you have equity in your home. We have no other debt than our home and student loans. Student loans are looming over me as we have $150,000, wowza, between myself and husband. I've never dealt with student loans, you guys. That was not an option for my wife and I. So when I see that amount, I'm like, I can only imagine the financial burden. We both have advanced degrees. Although we make good money now, we have not always, and finding that is going to take probably close to 10 years. Although we make good money now, we have not always made good money, and finding that, okay, it's going to take us 10 years to, at best, to pay this off. Thinking about taking out a HELOC to pay off student loans, but not sure if this is a stupid idea. Of note, we will need to move to a different school district this next year. Because of that, I am not sure if taking out a HELOC could be a bad or good idea in some way. Update, we have about $300,000 in equity and planning to use about $150,000 of that. I'm going to read this comment right here. It said, my wife and I had a similar situation for about 30 years. We graduated in the mid-1990s with master's degrees. We had about $40,000 in debt between us then, had 4 kids, low-paying jobs, and our loans were in forbearance for about 15 years. Started paying towards them in 2008, minimum payment only. Debt ballooned at this point due to the capitalized interest to about $100,000. Son of a gun, you went from $40,000 to $100,000. When our loans were finally discharged through PSLF in 2023, the total amount was about $250,000. We paid $80,000 over the years, but that never even considered the interest. I say all this to emphasize that the burden of these loans is significant, and 30 years of our marriage was impacted by this. I would not recommend you tie these loans to your home through a HELOC. See, that's what I was kind of thinking too. I wouldn't either. If anything happens, the mortgage company will not be forgiving or as gracious as the debt of education. You see, student loans you can't file bankruptcy on, though. Okay, so some interesting comments here. There's 8 different comments on here. Okay, so when it comes to the student loans, if you're going to be moving, you guys, what I would suggest here is if you're going to be moving and you're probably going to sell, let me see, we will need to move to a different school district this next year. So are you going to sell your house and move? Don't freaking do a HELOC then. If you're going to sell your house and move, sell the house for as much as you possibly can, pay the mortgage off, take the rest of the money, pay your student loans off. You'll still have $150,000 extra to go put down on your next house. Why create another loan that you're going to pay interest on that you're just going to pay off here pretty quick anyway? You guys think about this. It is never, I don't think so anyway, it is never a benefit to do something just for like a little bit. You know, it's like even refinancing a house. If you've been in your house for 10 years and you're thinking about refinancing it, don't freaking do it unless you're going to refinance to like a 15-year loan. If you're going to go from 20 to 30 again, you're going to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars more in interest. The next thing is, what is the interest rate on the HELOC compared to the interest rate on the student loan? If I remember right, most student loans, when people that I've talked to already, most student loans have a pretty low interest rate to begin with. Depending on them. I'm no expert on student loans either, or HELOCs. But what is the interest rate? The next thing, ladies and gentlemen, is you got to remember these are simple interest loans. All of these things are simple interest loans, meaning every time you make a payment, it recalibrates the interest to principal. So if you really want to pay down your home quicker, pay down the student loan quicker, pay down your credit cards, your car payment, anything, if you're making a payment of easy numbers, $800 a month, go to the payment place and say, hey, I'd like to make a payment of $400 on the 10th and a payment of $400 on the 20th. So the 10th of every month and the 20th of every month, you're going to pay that loan down quicker because it recalibrates how much goes to principal and interest. Have you ever looked at your loans, like on a home or car or any of those things? At the start, way more is going to interest than principal. But as you go, more goes to principal than interest, okay? So when you add more payments, you take the exact same payment and split it up to 2 payments, 3 payments, 4 payments, however aggressive you want to get with it, you're going to pay those things down sooner. But in this situation, I would look at like, hey, if we're going to move to a new school district and change, let's freaking put our house on the market. Let's sell this thing for as much as possible. Let's take that cash, pay off our mortgage, take the $300,000 in equity. So the mortgage is paid off now. Take the other $300,000, whatever you make, pay off the student loan, pocket the rest, and go move on. And don't do those things again. Like, you're in a great situation if you've gained that much equity, okay? Look at your interest. Look at everything that you're doing with the money. That's what I would do. That's what I would recommend. Let's do one more since it is Friday. Oh, gosh, there's a lot of good one. Investment financial tips as a 26-year-old female. I like this one. Okay. Investment financial tips. This is JRC_2222. Investment financial tips as a 26-year-old female with $105,000 saved. Damn. Go get it. 105,000, 100K. Good job. Good for you. Looking for any tips on how to increase my current investments or what stocks to be investing in. Any financial tips really help me as a 26-year-old single woman who is very frugal and wants to learn more about personal finances. I make $52,000 a year, bringing in a little less than $3,000 a month after taxes, health insurance payments, contributing to my 401k. My current portfolio is as follows. 105 total saved, including Roth IRA and brokerage account, all in Vanguard. I have a checking account that I keep about $1,500 in at a time, about $500 in regular savings account just in case of overdraft scenarios. Currently, about $85,000 in my brokerage account. Right now, I am investing in VOO, BND, VTI, total stock market. So these are ETFs, VXUS, and Apple and Microsoft stocks. About $20K in my Roth, contributing to the $7K max a year. VTTSX, target retirement 2060, VOO. Right now, I'm available to put quite a bit of money away. I have a reoccurring transaction of $500 a month from my checking to brokerage. Okay, so it's a reoccurring automatic transfer she has set up to go $500 to her brokerage account. Good job. And $500K a month to a Roth IRA. I then do quarterly dividend reinvestments on my brokerage account, 60% VTI, 20% VXUS, 20% BND. My goal is truly to not have to rely on anyone financially ever. I know my current income isn't great, but I do supplement with pet sitting quite frequently, sometimes making up, this is freaking awesome, you guys, like what can you do? Sometimes making up to an additional 1K a month. Freaking pet sitting. I currently live at home with my parents to save some money, but am planning on moving out very soon, as well as buying a car. Any tips and insight is greatly appreciated as I am trying to advance my personal financial journey. Apologies if I don't write everything correctly in the most way. I am still learning. Thanks to all in advance. You guys, this is cool. I'm going to share a book. I would recommend every freaking person on this earth to read. I'm going to make sure. I hope you guys look at this. I'm looking at the camera, okay? Become your own banker. Unlock the infinite banking concept. I would tell this person, good freaking job. You are saving, you are investing, you are learning, you set up auto stuff, all of it. I would advise expand your knowledge. Every financial tool was created for a reason. Every single financial tool was created for a reason. What other things are you missing? I would say 100%. I would love to see this person read the infinite banking concept, because we could save and invest more money into one of these policies, and you could use that money, emergency fund, investing, retirement planning, all of it, and buy a car at the same time with all of the same money. Like this, becoming your own banker system. I want you to think about it. If you go buy another car, if you go buy a car and you're paying 7.25% interest rate, that's all going to the bank. If you go buy a car with your own policy and put that money into a policy and then pull the money out, you're still making interest on that money, and you just bought your car, so now the interest is going to you. My wife and I use this concept. This becoming your own banker concept is what we used it to leverage building a house. We bought a camper for cash instead of paying a bank. And I've used it to pay off other debt. I used it to pay off one of my trucks. The truck interest was 7.25. And then I refinanced it with this investment, the becoming your own banker investment. I refinanced it with that at a 5.6% interest rate. So I saved right around 2% interest, and I paid it off way quicker, and now I'm in control of it. This person, if you took that money and invested it into one of these policies, you are growing tax-free money in retirement. You are leveraging it for banking. You are leveraging it for savings, emergency fund, what ifs, if this happens. I mean, $1 can serve many, 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 many purposes. In this situation, it is incredible. Now, I'm not securities licensed. I'm never going to give financial advice from the perspective of you should or you should not do this. I'm going to tell you this, though. Over the last 8 years of studying for my own perspective, my wife and I do not invest in any Roth IRAs, 401ks, stocks, mutual funds, none of those things. I invest zero money. Okay, I invest a little bit of money in crypto just because I'm curious about what the heck's going on with it. So once in a while, I'll throw $25 in crypto. I've got a couple $100 in there, but that's it. We do not invest money in any of those accounts. There's a big reason why from all the study that I've done, and I'm not saying that it's the right thing for everybody. This is where you need to study for yourself. But in this perspective, this lady's perspective, everything that you're investing in right now, when you retire, you're going to owe a massive amount of taxes, except for the Roth IRA, because you're paying all your taxes up front. That's what a Roth IRA does. You pay your taxes up front instead of at the end. Everything that my wife and I do, zero taxes. We do not, like when we pull money in retirement, if we borrow from the accounts, if we do anything, we can touch the money now. Nobody tells us when or when we can't. If we want the money, we can get the money. We can use it for income. We can do anything, and it's all completely tax-free, and it grows like crazy. So there's something cool that I would share with this individual is study all the financial tools out there. Study all of the financial tools out there and like really learn and invest in them and stuff. Pretty freaking cool though. Great job. I gotta message this person. Great job. So I said, great job. I was on YouTube going live and I used all of this as an educational topic. Amazing work. I would share for you to study other financial tools to leverage and grow your money even more. Amazing work with your money. Keep crushing it. So I had to. She's done amazing. She's done amazing. Great job. You guys, I just feel like doing one more. Paying bills. Okay, we're going to do this one real quick. Worldliness 96. Get it. I need to pay all my monthly bills. Power, gas, water, phone, and internet. Rent has already been taken care of. I know I can automate this so I don't have to go on so many websites every month, but I prefer doing it this way. Okay, small business. Okay. Good for you. I like it. Figure out what works for you and do it. Parents are threatening to kick me out when I turn 18. Good job. Help me. I'm 20 years old. I work full time and I make really good money. What is the best way to start saving money? Create a wealth creation plan. How much are you making? Where do you want the money to go? Set it up so that it does that, and then start focusing on increasing income, increasing investing, all of that. You guys create a financial plan. If you create a plan, great. You execute it. I retired at 55. 1, set up a Roth IRA and 401k. 2, spend less than you make. 3, avoid debt. I'm glad it worked for you. That is the exact advice I would not do. What are your goals? Okay, so I'm making a comment on this one. Find the reason. Okay, so I commented and said, what are your goals? I would start there and then find the tools to achieve those goals. There are a lot of amazing financial tools that are all created for a reason. Find the reason and use them. Ah, dang, it says us them. Use them. Great job. Can we edit stuff? I didn't realize I freaking did a typo. Here we go. Don't you guys hate that? All right, so this person, lower _ entertainer 981, great job. Like, you're 20 years old, you're killing it. I would figure out what your goals are. Do you want to buy a house? Do you want to save more? Do you want to invest more? Do you want to have $1 million by the time you're 20? Like, what is your goals? I want to build money, use money, and not pay taxes on it. That's why I use the financial systems that I use. And I don't want people to tell me, do you guys realize in most of the retirement planning tools that we use today, there's a max on how much you can put into them? Why should we be maxed on how much money we put into them? I don't want anybody to tell me how much I can, when I can, when I can't, when I can touch it. If I touch it, I pay taxes. If I don't touch it, they make me touch it so I can pay taxes. I don't want anybody to tell me what, when, where, why, or how when it comes to my money. Okay, these are educational things that we all need to learn and study. If that fits your financial system and your plan, then freaking go for it. That's where you need to educate yourself. I'm not a big stocks person. I don't want my money to grow based on what the freaking political system's based on. I mean, have you guys noticed? Like, I had clients lose ridiculous amounts of money in 2022. Well, 2022 was a freaking political mess, and it just keeps continuing to get worse. I don't want my money based on what somebody tweeted that day. I don't care your political party. I'm not basing the way that I live my life financially off someone else. Therefore, I've created the goals and the systems and the processes that I have. And it's important to understand those things for yourself. There is no financial tool. There is no one financial system. There is no one right way. The right way is the way that you believe in. The right way is what works for you. The right way is all of those things. So if you study them from an honest perspective, and you know the good, the bad, the ugly, the right, the wrong, the benefits now, the benefits in the future, the cons now, the cons in the future, if you know all of those things about the tools and the resources that you're using, and you're still like, yep, I like this. You guys, I studied the infinite banking concept for 1.5 years before I invested a penny into it. I studied it. I read that book that I just shared with you, plus 5, 6, 7, 8 others. I found a guy that invests heavily into it and uses that system, because that system is a great investment if you learn how to use it. If you don't learn how to use it and leverage it for its benefit, it's an awful freaking investment. Okay? So I studied it for 1.5 years based on my goals, my systems, my processes, my desires, and I was like, this fits. I like this. I've shared it with many other people, and they're like, no, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I'm like, great. I'm glad you know now. Now you have knowledge. Now you have a knowing, okay? So this person, like, what are your goals? What is it that you really want to achieve? And then go find the things and ask questions. Don't take one person's thing. We're going to call that good. I could keep freaking going. I love this. But yeah, don't just base it off of one thing. Like, go find out for you what is truth for you, okay? And then freaking rock and roll. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to call that the show for today. This is the Jared Briggs Show. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, a wonderful weekend, and go crush it. Beat the master and go crush it. Have a good day.